Alright guys, we're back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we did the part 3 of the trial. We had to reveal some long-lasting info that we wanted to get out. And hopefully this music box is the key towards this case, I hope. Because any luck, we have to go through the needle and we have to attack it. So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited by the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilded 2 months ago. And on the night of Mr. Winterbank's murder, the only item on the shelves that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick, let's open it and see what's inside. Good gracious, this is no ordinary box, it seems. Wow. Although in truth I had an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Then is it too much to expect? I think this will be reasonable to assume that this device for this playback for this disc, my lord. How valuable was... So what's in the disc then? Is this a music box? So if we have the means of playback, Mr. McGilded's disc deposited at the Windex at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. This was not Mr. McGilded's disc. It's the disc of the victim of the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sake? Are you to understand that the brickmaker was trying to sell this music box sticks to Mr. McGilded? I believe the answer will become clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last. Huh? Wait, my lord! Good grief, what is the meaning of this, Inspector? He doesn't want to, doesn't he? The music in the disc unrelated to the case. No need to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. What? This may very well be motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly there's every chance it's fundamentally important to understanding what happened. The prosecution has no objection. But no, that piece of evidence is politely properly, you can't... Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here. It is policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Garg! No further delays, please. Play the disc. What's going on? What on earth? That's certainly what I call music. No. It's just the same note playing over and over again in a regular sequence. Mr. Graydon. This really is priceless. And after all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be, can it? Obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop on the way back to the courtroom. Well, with much regret, I feel this court must accept that this music box offered a little ways of clues. Are you ready to move on, counsel? Come on. Yes, alright. Does it sound that it's completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanating from the music box possibly be a new clue? Could be a clue. I believe that could be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, counsel. Mere noise. I fail to see how it has any meaning whatsoever. That sounds strange, I agree, but there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there chortling victoriously, Inspector beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the noise, as if he's familiar with it, somehow. And that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the stance of defense, my Nipponese friends, answer me this. Oh? Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? The defense belief that the sound emanating from this music box is not supposed to be music, I believe. Just because this is a music box, it doesn't necessarily mean the sound we're hearing the music. Look at that. The smile vanished from Graydon's lips as soon as I said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Hee, making deductions based on how people react. What do you say? You're acting just like Hurley, you know? The sounds we're hearing aren't mere necessary music. Well, not if you told us what they are not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Well, surely you have an idea in mind, but because if not, it will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. The music box is clearly broken. Refusing to accept that fact is pure foolishness. They've got me. I don't know what the answer is, but yet. Luno. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly, and I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? Really? The way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. Can we examine? Well, the music box isn't broken. It means that the sound it's producing has some significance that it isn't musical. Ah, could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Are they like code? Something just stuck me, Luno. I feel like listening the past few hours even. I've heard another sound very much like this one in the music box makes. Yes, it's familiar sound. Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to press the defense for an answer. Your assertion is that the sound produced by the music is not in fact music at all. And what the devil is it, counsel? All the evidence we've seen so far and all the testimony we've heard, I'll point to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that I learn Nipponese friend. Presents proof now. Tangible proof of this latest wild speculation. Alright then. This could be the best chance I'm going to fight back in this trial. If I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box is... Could it be that? Oh my god. Communications? Could it be this? This is like a form of communication? I hope I'm gonna present it. Fuck it. I'll present it. This has to be today's paper. Right? Today's paper, counsel. The headline is Pawnbroker perishes in Pickpurse plunder, hardly supportive of your cause. No, my lord. I was hoping you'd look a little further down the page. Further down. Oh, it's like a type of code. Ministry Mole classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, this is a very serious matter and we investigate at the highest level, I understand. Government secrets? I have heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. And presumably those transmissions are in form of wired telegrams? Of course. Juror number 5, your input please. Yeah, she does stuff like this. Stop! Oh, me sir. Whatever's the matter? You told the court before that you worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Oh, yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh, yes, we're not in your run-of-the-mill communication station at all. Our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madam. It bears no more than a passing resemblance to the sound made by your telegraph machine as you tap it. It's called Morse code? Morse code. So this is another way of communicating, Morse code? But I don't believe it! Now correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that this music box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code? What? What? Order, everyone, please, order. But this is high treason, council, deserving of capital punishment. Oh, government secrets is a crime. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? What is this capital punishment? The sorts of words I half expect you to know? For a sovereign government's confidential info, hostile nations will surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, that was the very negotiating that was taking place inside the omnibus. But in the end, McGilded perished, and all important discs lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that info in the first place must surely have been beside himself with worry, because if the disc would be discovered before it found its way out of the country, that would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it. In order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbroker illegally in the middle of the night, because the article left by Mr. McGilded would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous. So in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here in silence while that pretentious foreign lawyer has been prattling away. Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime under scrutiny in this trial is the murder of our pawnbroker, Mr. Windibank. That means most of fragrous offense for which the law of this land sanctions a capital offense punishment, but the highest act of high treason is no less than a serious crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let us proceed. You may... Huh? What the bros? Well, you gotta have us a little rabbit and a pork eye, Governor. You got things to say. I beg your pardon. Who do you think you are? I thought you were kicked out of the trial. Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. We ain't baddies been enough to sell our in motherland. That's right, what they call? The three Skulkin brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. Get the hell out of here. A mere communications officer can possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by that music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-class brickman negotiating with Mr. McGilded anyway. Was it not? I have no relation to that man. Look, all he done is break into the gap the other night like what he told us to do. We'd like to know where there's dodgy government secrets involved. We want to touch that. Or so you say. Is that your last line of defense? Oh, Mr. Skulkin. What, Mr. Do Governor? What's up? Do I take it now you admit to the crime? Well, that on the other night in question you didn't gain entrance to the premises illegally. And moreover, you did so as party of three in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here. Get the fuck out of here, guys. We did, Gov. We did. Well, this makes things a lot easier. Quiet down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two ruffians are referring to. You little rod, getting us mixed with your monkey business. You never said nothing about government secrets. It was supposed to be a straight-up job. And what about the geezer whose shop was, eh? Poor old bloke didn't have to die, did he? Gah! Nice to know who your friends are. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become so significant in the proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit to it in the court record as evidence. Quick! Quick! Check the court record. First, check the music box. Or yeah. See how the McGilded disc sits on the top of the music box as a man deposit? To be more perfect fit, so there's no question then. The disc was designed to be played on this music box, yet despite that the sounds produced is neither musical nor do they appear to have any meaning. This set doesn't make any sense. I wonder, if perhaps there's more to this music box than meets the eye. Maybe we haven't discovered its secrets yet. Loves the music, isn't it? It's the movement. It's all thanks to the comb that's the teeth plug into the passing bumps. Usually the teeth on the comb are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth seem to be exactly the same length. What does that mean? That no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the box will make the same sound. Never seen a music box like it before. Yes, it is strange. The music box can only play a single note. There's something significant to that, surely. What's this? Oh? What's it, Luna? I've just noticed something about this music box. Looks like the bottom it opens up as well. Ah, you're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it. Alright then, here goes. Well, look at that. Another movement on the underside. So does that mean you can set another disc to play it back on its side? Yes, I think so. It links the two movements are linked together. They're linked? If you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. That is very interesting. Two discs. Who would have thought there would be a second movement on the underside of the box? This movement's like the other one. The comb teeth are all the same length. So this movement is also produces a single tone. Like the other one? Yes, it must do. Except that the length of the teeth are the two combs, isn't it the same? So the single tone produced by the movement will be different to the single tone we have already heard. What? Basically, each movement can only produce a single note. Produced are different. Box can only play in 2 tones. Oh no, you didn't, game. We found a very extraordinary secret indeed. You need 2 discs. So this newspaper headline accurate? Government communication are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications are handled by high-level officers, by specialists. General members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive info. Oh, stop. Must say something. Stop. Let me guess. Oh, you. Juror number 5. We regulate communication station operators are lowly as you would like to believe. They must are responsible for setting up and testing the telegraphs used by the ministry. Mr. Gray is the team leader. That's fascinating. Graydon's highly skilled operator. Stop currently in presence of vital. Stop. So you had access to the equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. What of it? The transmissions can be always made behind closed doors, so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages are sent enciphered. Normal employees can possibly understand them. Oh no, stop! Must say something, stop! Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with administrative technicians and ministry communications team. He assists with ensuring that there's no errors in important international communications. He's received the top prize at the cipher cracking convention 5 years in a row now. Well, that's useful. That's fascinating. Graydon's highly skilled operator, stop! Graydon appearance is vital, stop! Well, your idol would appreciate if you keep your mouth shut. She should really pick her items more carefully. I tell you, this lawyer's accusations are completely unfounded. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? I'm using your phrase, Jared. They're not? To anyone with a brain, there'd be a blatant apparent on listening to that music box for even a few seconds. Of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, he looks so genuinely shocked at my ignorance. Ha ha ha. I would be more happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. A lesson here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by the music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. We're the same as everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So your assertion is fundamentally flawed. That is not Morse code. No! Really? You shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? This music box is nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject matter before casting aspersions in the future. Stop. Nothing to say but stop. Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it, Iris? I mean, if the government secrets are somehow being leaked using a music box, so many other things would slot into place so nicely. Could there be something I haven't considered? Would it really be impossible to use this music box to say, play some Morse code? It seems impossible. For now, defense will concede that the music box is irrelevant for the time being. For the time being? Such optimism. Too debonair to admit defeat, are we? Those gesticulations are really starting to grate. It can't be Morse code unless it has 2 distinct tones. Should I examine that music box in a little more detail? we need to make sure we need to have the second disc. But we don't know where that second disc is. So 2 months ago in that omnibus, McGilda killed the brickmaker, stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he lived in the artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How much would a humble brickmaker come to acquire secret government info? How indeed. There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody acquired a disc and gave it to Mr. Mason in order to take the meeting with Mr. McGill and negotiate a deal. Dear me. You may have it in it for me, sir, but I assure you I have far more class than that. An old brickmaker from Artisan Quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. I need more info. You had nothing more to add on to that note. Let us return to witness testimony. You fucking Skokin bros are going to prison, getting the death sentence forever. Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean? That's it, yeah. Who else, eh? Silly thought he was just popping up for a matter of after them years, and a rather dodgy job for us. Hey, Ash. Let me stop you there, Mr. Skokin. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? We're the social kind of baddies, you know. Sure, let's say Graydon's in old China. Huh? Chotomate? Is something wrong, Mr. Skokin? Eh? No, the other one, Mr. Skokin. What? Who? Me? When your brother was testifying just now, he said something that seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a red old laugh together way back when. Together? With Mr. Graydon, you mean? Yeah, with Vash, I mean. Look at him now in a fancy whistle and flute, and you wouldn't have Adam and Eve it. And when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town, just like us. Is that so? But he was always a leery one. He had the brains, he had the savvy. Always come with smart ideas with one never had gone through our hands. God blimey, ain't that the truth? Remember that Milverton Skokin's milk run? That's cause of worker, eh? Save until after the trial. Your reminiscence has no place in this courtroom. And neither does your fruit. Oh, the geezer stuck asking this question, didn't he? And we was answering. Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you in your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can we turn our attention back to This was useless, please. I don't know. Could that sentimental story be relevant somehow? Added to the testimony. My lord. Yes, counsel. The brother's last sentimental statement could hold vital information relating to the case. Very well, counsel. I'll prepare the brothers to supplement their testimony with that detail briefly, I hasten to add. Say no more. Skokin's never Skokin. Milverton Skokin's milk run. God remember the days. I'm sure I'm going to regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme we had going back when we was youngsters. A bit of fun, really. Delivering fresh milk to the locals, that's what it was all about. So that sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since we're here, I should ask them to elaborate on what? Business model. So, how did your little business work exactly? Well, every morning down our way, milkman would just wave us the cart, deliver milk, see? You're stuck in your empty outside your front door and leave you to full again, right? So we swooped in on the action, got people to sign up with us. Promised to deliver milk for half the price the other geese is doing it. People couldn't wait to sign on the dotted line, so we were raking it in, we were. So, did you live on a dairy farm or something? Gordon, Ben, if you're off your rack and we had nothing, we were too poor to have a farm. Right. We were just gonna... Oh, it was simple as well. You had no idea. We had to switch him over, you see. Our customers had empty woods. The phone was from anyone who wasn't in our books. A dodo, right? I think you meant to say a diddle. That's a crime. It was just an harmless bit of fun, that's all. Milking the general public in such a fashion is most certainly not harmless as you put it. Why, it was cause I came up with the idea. Ash is the evil genius. You mean Mr. Graydon? Yeah, Ash always had his in the bucket when we was growing up. Said he was gonna get himself an education, get out of the slum we lived in. God, we ragged him all about it now, didn't we? I told him he was something to dead even think of it. Look at him now, he's going and thinking of being a communication officer, ain't he? Communications officer, Mr. Skulkin. Sholmes and Wilson's milk gun. No, Iris, don't even think about that. We can't let you do that. All of a sudden, we seem to be up our necks in a serious matter of national security. Although all this talk about interception of security, secret government messages is still conjecture at this stage. It would explain a number of things though, wouldn't it? Negotiation Ginny overheard the omnibus 2 months ago and breaking window banks. But the trouble is, it wasn't Mr. McGrady in the omnibus with Mr. McGilden. No, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker was so horribly murdered. If only there was some link between the two men somehow. I know, but Mr. Graydon's testimony seemed me as watertight as ever. The key to us making headway with the cross-examination here could be those two brothers. So did you know nothing about this music box? We didn't know nothing. We didn't know nothing. We ain't planning to know nothing about it either. So 2 nights ago, you indeed break into Winterbank's pawnbroker, didn't you? In your original testimony, you said that the door of the shop was ajar and that it was like some kind of sign begging you to go in. But the truth is, you were planning to break into the Winterbanks all along, weren't you? We were, God. We were. You're right there. Yes, that's what you told us to do. It was his plan. And why was it Mr. Graydon's plan to break into Winterbanks that night? Did you not ask the reason? What? Well, he said that the place was full of stuff worth nicking. That's what he told us beforehand anyway. It turns out it was a lot of cobblers, so didn't it? Weren't the best plays, I can tell ya. In any case, if they know the real reason, it doesn't sound like they're going to give it away. Let me press the other answer for it. The business name. So this business was just a bit of fun, you say? Was it just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved? Yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it? Yeah, that's it. And where did the Milverton part come from? Alright, I thought a clever dog ever worked up for, huh? Enough of this. How much longer we expect to listen to this drivel? Let me guess, you don't accept anything that these 2 witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that was the only mention of the name Milverton that you decided to interject? But because well... Yeah, we're the happiest of homes from that one came from. And the old man was struggling for money so much his wife walked out on him. She took the name Graydon then, see? Nash will always be Milverton to us. Milverton? So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon ever since I was born. Do you really think you can rely on the testimony of these two thieves? You're a communications officer attached to the Silver Service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of your appointment. It would be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. God. Well, it would appear that Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin's testimony has been reliable for once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct? Very well, yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. Then folk could change things. It could turn out to be extremely important. Ashley Graydon's personal profile and activated court record. Looks like we got some info, but let me guess right now. I remember. Okay, let's see the info we have. Huh, I can't check the... I can't check the profiles. Mason Milverton? What? Oh no. Oh. You are related to him! Oh my god. We got him. Hold on, let me save for a bit. I think we got him. Holy shit. I'm a genius. We got him. Milverton, say? Thrice-fired Mason is actually Mason Milverton. Okay, we got him, boys. Oh no, which one is it? Is it this one? Okay, I think we have to do something about this music box. Alright, let's give it a try. There's still every possibility that the music box was instrumental in leaking government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least. Does it please you in some way, my Nipponese friend, to repeat the same line of argument ad infinitum? It has already been established that the Morse code, 2 tones are required, dots and dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? Well then, it would appear that the defense is a hypothesis to put forward. You had better present your idea at once, counsel. How do you propose this music box which appears to produce only a single tone? We use the cipher message in the Morse code. Alright, I think we should present this part since we opened it. Yeah, we could set another music box to play on the other side. Present. There we go. Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box. What? It appears, my lord, that the two mints are linked together. In other words, you can just put two discs in the music box. The sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the chord is heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. The second disc being placed in the music box can be used to generate Morse code and convey the message. This is beyond a joke. I'm sorry? This poor excuse for a lawyer has no absolute evidence to support his claims. Though of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second disc, it would be another matter. Well, I don't have the second disc. Yeah, I can't at the moment. And may I remind the court that, as the witness has pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with the McGilded 2 months ago, striking the over disc for this. Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly. I had nothing to do whatsoever to do with it. Though it has holes, I must admit the argument presented by the defense is promise. Maybe cross-examination should continue. The link between Grady and the victim of the omnibus case must be there somehow. I haven't found it yet. Oh dear, it looks like you need to give your argument a more strength, Luna. You alliterate your testimony, please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, still I maintain exactly what I did at the start of this pointless cross-examination. It was some low-class brickmaker negotiating with McGill anyway. I have no relation to that man. Yeah? I think it's this one. I'm pretty sure. Alright. This should be it, right? Milverton. Mason Milverton. It's this one, right? Yep. Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you hide your former name from the court? Because I haven't gone by that name for years. It means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, you had a reason to hide that name. Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. As we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to be negotiating with Mr. McGilded. Yes, Mr. Mason, a brickmaker. But that's right, only Mason wasn't his surname at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. Milverton? Dude, do you mean to say Saint's alive? Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker Mr. Mason Milverton was your father? We got him. I don't. As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history will have been thoroughly checked when you join the Silver Service. It really would take no time at all for the court to support those records. The truth is, you've been illegally acquiring highly confidential information, government info, and selling it to McGill in collaboration with your father. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness. You must be related to case 3 then. You wanted the disc so bad, do you? It all comes together to reveal the truth. Oh! This would also give a reason for him to... Oh, okay. This makes a lot of sense. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. I did up this music box, you mean, counsel? we have a motive for you killing him then. It makes a lot of sense because Thrice Fire Mason is dead. And McGilded died later after the trial. Yes, stealing from being sent in government communications, saying to Miss McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted his elaborate scheme of using 2 music boxes to encode the info, as presumably a safest measure against the info falling into the wrong hands. And a very effective one. I shouldn't have given the scheme of credence whatsoever. But the deal with McGilded went sour and the brickmaker met his end. Yes, before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen disc at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned of the situation, he appeared at Winterbank 2 days ago, in an attempt to recover the 2 articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of this was seized by the police and the other you never found. So that same night, you enlisted the help of the Skokin brothers to help broke into the pawnbrokery. This time determined to recover the second disc. Are you suggesting that the second disc was inside the music box? Eh? It's like... so they were cahooting all along, no? Shock Pikachu face, oh. We never knew nothing about that. On the night that Mr. Winbank was killed, the music box moved. Intruder to the pawnbroker touched one item on the music box. That's rather ingeniously demonstrated using the 2 prints from the security camera indeed. So the question that naturally begs the question is this: why is that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious, because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny all of this actually began on that fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept all of this nonsense. Sir? There appears to be blood seeping from your sleeve of your jacket. Oh, shoot! You were there, weren't you? 2 nights ago. We know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime in Winterbank's pawnbrokery. One took the life of a pawnbroker himself. One struck the pouch around Mr. Shom's waist. And the final bullet struck the counter on the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound on your arm you seem to be trying to hide, it's a bullet wound, isn't it? He's got you now, me old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon. He's sullying him out. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those were my terms, remember. I paid you handsomely to comply. Clearly I was a fool to think I could trust some common back-slum thieves. So you did coot with them. Fine. I admit it. I was there at Winterbanks that night. I paid this 10 guineas to accompany me. And as you know, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. Did Winterbank fire at you? But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with with Mr. McGilded. As God is my witness, I sure recall nothing of the sort. He's not going to go down without a fight, until I show him some hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact, which is... Well, we know that 1 bullet was fired from each of the 2 firearms we have in evidence. The bullet from the Gulkin brothers' gun hit the porch around Shom's waist. And the bullet from Winterbank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm. Where's the other gun? Indeed, it must. We can rule out that possibility that the man shot himself. It leads us to that one conclusion. Still, we make was shot by a third gun, which can only have been fired by the third intruder. Goodness. Where's the third gun? That's right, Mr. Graydon. The only person who could have possibly shot Mr. Woodenbank that night is you. You little upstart. You made a grave mistake when you summoned me here. What? What's that supposed to mean? We don't have the gun, do we? Yes, as you rightfully say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact naturally. I had no intention of ruining the distinguished career I built for myself, the communications station. But did that never cross your mind? You never considered a possibility? What? What do you mean? What possibility? That possibly if I was there at the scene, I may have witnessed the crucial moment. You see. This makes me a key witness in this case. I have your hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment the pickpocket girl pointed the gun at the four defenseless pawnbroker. So you were claiming that you're a witness? You... What? You're claiming yourself as a witness? So you're actually Order! Well, it would seem that we are finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. Mr. Graydon. Yes. I trust you are fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. Then I must ask you to give your formal testimony once more. Another witness testimony. You explain to the court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly sought the victim. Nothing would give me greater pleasure. Alright. I know you were at the heart of the trial right now. We're gonna save the game. So next time on the Grace Ace Attorney Chronicles, we're gonna hopefully finish this trial by the next episode. See you guys all next time.